Hello vinyl community, this is Sean coming at you with another video, and this one is my second one this weekend. And for this one I'm jumping on a vinyl tag that I discovered a few days ago. Brian Embryonic Robot responded to it. I discovered this channel based on viewing that video, and I subscribed to his channel a few days ago, and just now getting around to my weekend and being able to have time to make a video. And so Ed has a channel called On My Turntable, a great channel that I subscribe to, like I said. I think he has over the 50 subscribers now, so he's doing really good. And based on his great idea for a thread response, his artists that he showed are pretty, not in my genre that I normally listen to, but with a lot of the, since I started making videos, some of the music he's talking about is some of the genres that I like to explore to add to my collection. And he also showed some good ones that I was already on my want list, so he featured a good mixture. He mentioned Joni Mitchell, which I have a lot of Joni Mitchell in my collection. I do love her, and but I didn't select that for my 10 that I'm gonna show in this video. So the thread, I'm gonna say I'm not gonna be 100% compliant. I'll be 50% compliant. So hopefully he won't delete my, he can't delete it. I guess only I can delete it. But I'll be 50% compliant. I have never seen any of these artists live, and I have barely been to any concerts, so I can't even think of any female artists that I've seen live. So I can't just hold a picture up of an album that saying that I watched this person live. I'd be lying. So I'm gonna be 50% compliant on this video. But anyway, I'm gonna get started. So I've got 10, and I've got actually one at the end where I'm not gonna really talk about much. I'll show it real quick because I've showed this lady 3 or 4 times since I've been making videos, and I've only done like 12 or 13 videos. So I'll just add that to the end. So I'm just gonna get started. The first one, Chris from Record Talk, I watched one of his response to the video. He actually showed a solo album from Dolores O'Riordan. I guess it was made a few years ago, a couple years ago. In 2022 is a reissue of one of her solo albums, and it's called Are You Listening, initially released in 2007, and it came out on vinyl recently. I want to say Record Store Day, but I could be wrong. But I looked up, I don't know, I guess I missed that one, so I looked it up, and you can't get it really for less than $75. So hopefully Chris got it at a good price when it first came out. I'm sure he did. He probably got it. If it was on Record Store Day, he probably got it on Record Store Day. But this is this one also is a Record Store Day, but it's the Cranberries record, but Remembering Dolores. And this one is nice because it's not it's a compilation, but it's not a greatest hits compilation. So it's hand curated or hand picked songs by her band members, her friends. I think maybe just her band members, but it's a great gatefold. There's the gatefold and the picture of the band there. Double album. So really psyched to get this on Record Store Day. At the time, I think it was 2022. You know, I paid around $40 for it, $35, but definitely worth it. So she was born in September 6, 1971. So she's my age. She was my age. Unfortunately, she passed. And her passing was 15 January 2018. Of course, an Irish musician with a soprano voice. Grew up in Limerick, Ireland. Struggled with depression and pressure of her own success. Was diagnosed with bipolar disorder in 2015. She died from drowning due to alcohol intoxication in 2018. I don't think it was a suicide. I think it was just an accidental death, but I could be wrong in that. So she has two, I think she has two solo albums, the one that Chris from Record Talk showed, and then she also has No Baggage in 2009. Yeah, so that's all I had for this record. I'm gonna move on to the next one. And another one that I showed in a previous video for a record additions to my collection, I think a few, I don't know how many videos ago, but it's the Cowboy Junkies Trinity Sessions. And that's the yeah, like I said on that video, personal grail for me, and normally it goes for a lot of money, but I got it for a great price. And so I don't want to talk about the band because I just want to talk about the female artist. So the female lead singer is Margot Timmons. The band was formed in Cowboy Junkies was formed in 1986, and they're still going strong. So they have 16 studio records. I said I'm not talking about the Cowboy Junkies, but I will a little bit. They have 16 studio records, 5 live albums with tour dates booked in 2024, so they're still active. Margot Timmons, Canadian, spent most of her life growing up in Montreal. She later moved to Toronto with her family in right around close to graduation age or from high school. She's has 5 siblings, including brothers Michael Timmons, the band's lead guitarist of the Cowboy Junkies, and Peter Timmons, the band's drummer. In 1977, like I said, she moved to Toronto. In 1985, when the band Cowboy Junkies originally had a different lead singer, but in 1985, her brother Michael recruited Margot as the lead vocalist, even though she had never sung publicly before. Initially, Margot would not sing in front of other band members. She would only sing in front of Michael, very shy. And eventually, Michael convinced Margot to sing in front of the other band members, and the other band members liked her performance, so they talked her into joining Cowboy Junkies. And she said, okay, so long as I don't do a good job, you will fire me, because I don't want to hurt my brother's music, because the music is so important to them. She initially sang with the back to the audience, so that might have been a reason why the band might not have been successful, but her voice is so excellent, so I guess nobody cared. I wouldn't care. So that's a brief background on Margot Timmons. She still has stage fright, I've read, but she's much better. And I guess the early days of singing with her back behind the audience are gone, and she's doing really well with this band, great band, Cowboy Junkies. All right, next one I'll probably pick before in other videos, that on this vinyl tag with Annie Lennox from the Eurythmics. This is the only Annie Lennox record I have. Not Annie Lennox, the only Eurythmics record I have, but want to get more, of course, like everything. Born 25 December, born on Christmas, 1954, and Scottish singer and songwriter, political activist, philanthropist. Achieved moderate success in the 1970s, late 1970s, with the band The Tourist, which also would like to get some of their records. And fellow musician on the Eurythmics, Dave Stewart, was also on The Tourist. And then they in 1980, I'm not sure actually what year, but they formed the Eurythmics. Eurythmics and Lennox and Stewart were inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2020, and inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2022. Solo career, she has 6 solo albums, and a total of 6 solo albums, And Diva was the first one in 1992, which I want to get that one. Something Fierce, Diva, from Annie Lennox. So that's all for that artist. I'll go into the next. And I think I featured this on my 80s vinyl tag. I just knew it's possible somebody picked Fetchin' Bones, the lead singer of Fetchin' Bones, but I figured probably not. So, but this is the record I have, and I only have this record from them. I want to get the others. They have 4 studio albums. She's not pictured here, but she's pictured here in the back, and that's Hope. And I'll have to refer to my notes because I forgot her last name, but Hope is right here. She's the lead singer, and the other band members here. Just a really great band, kind of like a, from North Carolina, hard driving band, very garage rocky, alternative. But her name is Hope Nichols, that's what it is. Born 1960, American singer, songwriter from Charlotte, lead vocalist, Fetchin' Bones, Sugar Smack, and Snagglepuss. And she also briefly toured with Martin Atkins' band, Pigface. I don't know Sugar Smack, I don't know Snagglepuss, I don't know Pigface. If anyone in the comments knows anything about those bands, if they're worth picking up, just let me know in the comments. Nichols is now lead singer and drummer of a project called The Snakes. And so I need to research those bands, especially The Snakes, since it's her current project she's on. And so that's all I had for that one. The next one, on the videos I've watched, they weren't shown, but I'm sure they were shown because it's one of the most popular female bands of all time, the Go-Go's. And this one is Beauty and the Beat. I think this is the most collected, widely successful record, of course. I won't talk about this one much because everybody knows who the Go-Go's are. Formed in Los Angeles in 1978. And, you know, I don't have any Belinda Carlisle solo records, but she's had a number of solo records. And Charlotte Caffey, Belinda Carlisle, Gina Shock, Kathy Valentine, Jane Wiedlin, the band members of the Go-Go's. Widely considered the most successful all-female rock band of all time, and they've had four studio albums. That's the Go-Go's. Okay, the next one is I know MGK Boston featured the Pretenders. I'm just featuring Chrissie Hynde solo record. She has 3 total. I've got one of them. And Chrissie Hynde sings Bob Dylan, which I think is good. I think some people don't like it, but I need to listen to this again. So I'm gonna play this week, either today or tomorrow. But this is Standing in the Doorway. Chrissie Hynde sings Bob Dylan. And there's the sleeve. 2 dogs. They were walking. She grew up in Akron, Ohio, and she has dual citizenship. I think British is the second citizenship she has. She's married to Jim Kerr of Simple Minds, one of my favorite bands. Let's see what else. Yeah, they had a daughter, Yasmin, in 1985 with Jim Kerr and Chrissie Hynde. They lived in South Queens Ferry, Scotland, and divorced in 1990. One of 3 solo records is what I'm holding up now. Founding member, lead vocalist, guitarist, primary songwriter of the Pretenders, and one of the band's 2 remaining original members, along with Martin Chambers. And she's the only one that's appeared in every studio album though from the Pretenders, and that's Chrissie Hynde. All right, I gotta try to speed this up. And then Motherland from Natalie Merchant, probably my favorite female artist of all time. Yes, she's my favorite, and that's Motherland, Natalie Merchant. And this was produced by T-Bone Burnett, mixed by Jim Scott, and this is a great copy that I have here. It's very silent. One of the best sounding records I have in my collection, and it's Motherland. It's the only record I have solo from her. I have, of course, 10,000 Maniacs records. She's the lead singer of 10,000 Maniacs. And she's born in 1963, October 26, 1963, an American singer-songwriter. She joined the band 10,000 Maniacs in 1981. She remained with the group for the first 7 albums before leaving to begin her solo career in 1993. She has released 9 studio records as a solo artist. Keep Your Courage was the last one she produced, and that was 2023, I think, or maybe 2024, this year. And when it first came out, I was going to buy it, but it was expensive, and me being cheap, I didn't pull the trigger on it. I just looked now on Discogs, and it's like around $30, which is palatable. So I do need to pick the latest up from her. Her voice isn't the same from like the videos that I watched. So I don't know how much I'll enjoy it. If anybody has the latest Natalie Merchant record in their collection, tell me how you like it in the comments. I'd be interesting to hear. So she born in 1963 in Jamestown, New York, third of 4 children. And I'm gonna do my obligatory REM tidbit. And she was married. She met Michael Stipe 1993, the lead singer of REM. The two became close friends, and they had a romantic relationship. They credit each other as inspirations for some of their songwriting. They have a great song together, a duet, Photograph, I think, that I definitely want to get on vinyl, a collaboration between Merchant and Stipe. Stipe said Natalie was really the reason my work became politicized in the late 80s. In 2003, Natalie Merchant married Daniel D. Calais, had a daughter, Lucia, but then she got divorced, I guess around 2012, she revealed in the article. And after suffering ossification of the posterior longitudinal ligament, in 2019, she received surgery for that condition, and she lost her voice, unable to sing for several months. So she's had some health battles that she's had to endure. And but my favorite female artist, and that's Natalie Merchant. Okay, as my dog goes crazy. Next one is Aimee Mann, and she's up there with my favorite female artist. And this was former lead singer of Till Tuesday, born in Richmond, Virginia. Over the course of 4 decades, she has released more than a dozen albums as a solo artist. She is known for her sardonic and literate lyrics about dark subjects. Yeah, so she played with Till Tuesday, and you'll remember top 10 single was Voices Carry in 1985. Till Tuesday released 3 albums, and I have all 3 of them, and disbanded in 1990 when Mann left to pursue a solo career. This one was a Record Store Day release. I got it for like $40 on Record Store Day. I thought it was expensive, but I think in my collection this might be worth the most of any record I own. It's going for a higher price now. I didn't look to see how much, but let's see, and Man is a huge fan of Elton John and Steely Dan. She lists Fiona Apple, Leonard Cohen, Jimmy Webb as artists she admires, Elliott Smith she also likes, and she got inspiration or acceptable to write dark lyrics, personal or dark subjects based on listening to Elliott Smith, which is another great artist, not in my collection. Older British bands such as the Kinks, the Zombies, and Squeeze influenced her debut album, Whatever, and I can see that. That's a great album. Most of her stuff goes for very expensive. She doesn't really have many vinyl records you can buy. Unfortunately, if you collect Aimee Mann, it's pretty much got to be CDs. So that's Aimee Mann. I actually have two records left, and one I didn't write any notes, and I'm thinking all you guys out there are like, good, this video is too long anyway. The first one I'll show is Courtney Barnett, which I didn't write notes on purpose, since I showed her album several times since I've been making videos. This is the artist I feel like deserves to be seen and heard, recognized. She's just a great Australian artist. Sort of a deadpan type lyrical style, and I mentioned she's kind of like the female version of Kurt Vile, and they did a compilation which I kind of talked about in the Australia video. This is one, I have pretty much every single record she has, except for the one that just came out, which is like an ambient type music soundtrack. I don't have that one, but pretty much everything else I do have from her. And she has a lot of pedestrian. This one has no, this one has City Looks Pretty. That's her hit off this one. Well, mild hit. And Pedestrian at Best is a very great song as well. That's on one of her other albums, and that's a kind of a harder edge song. And that's Courtney Barnett. And the one I spaced out on, I didn't write any notes, is this little hit. I guess this one's multi-platinum. Everybody knows Alanis Morissette. This is Jagged Little Pill. And from memory, she's Canadian also, like Margot Timmins. So anyway, this video ran a little long, but thank you for watching, and please go to the channel and subscribe to Ed. I'll leave a link in the description. And thank you for watching. Subscribe and thumbs up. Leave comments, and I'll respond to all. Thank you.